There could be some big changes coming for Queen Consort Camilla. According to The Sun, close sources say that Camilla is set to drop the consort part of her title and just be referred to as Queen.
Prince Louis is stealing the show at Trooping the Color once again. On June 14th, members of the royal family gathered for the 2025 Trooping the Color.
Everyone deserves to feel safe and happy, especially in their own home, and that includes the royal family. No one expected anything to go wrong that sunny afternoon. It was supposed to be a fun, peaceful day. The royal family had gathered together for a special picnic, a break from their usual formal events. Everyone smiled, laughed, and tried to enjoy this rare, relaxed moment. But by the end of the day, something happened that changed everything. It all started with innocent fun. The children were running and playing on the beautiful green lawns of Balmoral Castle. Prince Louis, the youngest and most playful child of Prince William and Princess Catherine, was full of energy.
Prince Louis. To mark the occasion, Kate Middleton and Prince William shared a photo of their youngest child. And
his giggles echoed across the garden as he played games and enjoyed time with his cousins and family. Everything seemed perfect. But then, behind the cheerful smiles and polite conversations, trouble was growing. Camilla, the queen consort, had brought her grandchildren to the picnic too. They aren't royal by blood, but Camilla has been including them in more royal events lately. Some people believe she wants her family to feel more like a part of the royal circle. On this day, it seemed like just another opportunity for everyone to come together and feel united. But for Princess Catherine, something didn't feel right. She's always calm and careful, especially when it comes to her children. And she was quietly watching. As the children played, something changed. Catherine noticed Louis standing still. His face was red, his smile gone. Across from him stood one of Camilla's granddaughters. Suddenly, the joy disappeared. Catherine's eyes locked on Louis. She knew instantly something was wrong. Very wrong. She walked toward him, calm but serious. It wasn't just a mother's worry, it was instinct. This wasn't a silly fight between kids. Something had been said or done, and it had hurt Louis deeply. Tears filled his eyes. The fun picnic had turned into something else, a moment of pain, of lines crossed, and of quiet tension. And when Prince William saw his son like that, he didn't just stay quiet. He made a decision that shocked everyone. Camilla's granddaughter had gone too far, and the result? She would no longer be welcome in royal circles. Her royal title, already debated by many, was now gone. What happened during that picnic revealed cracks in the royal family, and the fallout was just beginning. The picnic that was supposed to heal royal divides. The British royal family rarely gets the chance to relax like an ordinary family. Most of their days are filled with official work, meeting world leaders, attending grand events, and following strict traditions. There are always cameras watching and people judging. So when King Charles decided to organize a peaceful family picnic at Balmoral Castle, it felt like a breath of fresh air. No speeches, no fancy clothes, no reporters, just family, nature, and a chance to enjoy each other's company. Balmoral, with its wide green lawns and beautiful gardens, was the perfect setting for a relaxing day. Picnic blankets were spread neatly over the soft grass. The royal staff served tea, sandwiches, and small cakes on elegant china plates. The air smelled sweet from blooming flowers, and a gentle breeze kept the sun from feeling too hot. It seemed like a perfect afternoon, one that could bring smiles and peace to everyone there. King Charles had a special reason for planning this picnic. He wanted to bring together two parts of his life, his own family and Camilla's family. Since marrying Camilla, now queen consort,
once known as the other woman, Camilla is now the queen. Kind of. The new king's darling wife has become the queen consort.
Charles had tried to make sure her children and grandchildren felt welcome. He believed that building closer ties between them and his own royal family could create unity and harmony. This picnic was meant to help everyone feel like one big family. Camilla arrived with her grandchildren, who are not royal by blood. Still, Camilla has been including them more and more in royal events. Some people think she simply wants them to feel loved and accepted. But others wonder if she's quietly trying to push them into the spotlight, as if they belong to the royal world. It's something that has caused whispers among palace staff and even some concern among the royals themselves. Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, came with her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and the youngest, Prince Louis. Catherine is known for being calm, graceful, and very protective of her kids. As a mother, she always pays close attention to what's going on around them, especially when she's at public or family events. That day, Catherine smiled warmly and spoke politely with the other adults. She sipped her tea, laughed at small jokes, and appeared to enjoy the sunshine. But her eyes, every so often, would drift toward little Louis, who was running and playing on the grass. Louis, full of energy and joy, was having the time of his life, laughing, chasing after the royal dogs, and calling out to his siblings. The other children, including Camilla's grandchildren, joined in the games. There was tag, races, and even a little hide-and-seek behind the garden bushes. The adults enjoyed seeing the kids play freely. Laughter filled the air, and everything seemed so easy, so peaceful. King Charles watched proudly, thinking perhaps his plan had worked. Maybe this picnic really would bring everyone closer. Maybe this simple day would help build bridges between the 2 sides of his family, his royal bloodline, and Camilla's extended family. But behind the cheerful noise, there was a quiet tension that not everyone noticed. Some family members were still unsure about Camilla's grandchildren being so involved in royal life. After all, they didn't have titles, and many wondered if they truly belonged in these royal gatherings. For Princess Catherine, her smile remained polite, but inside, she stayed alert. Her number 1 job, as always, was to protect her children, especially Louis. Everything seemed perfect. The children were happy, the adults relaxed, and the mood was light. But sometimes, even the sunniest days can change in an instant one expected trouble. No one thought the peace would break. But then, like a sudden cloud passing over the sun, something shifted. Something small, at first easy to miss if you weren't paying attention. But for Catherine, that small shift was enough. She noticed it before anyone else. The laughter from Louis stopped. He stood still, his back stiff, his face no longer smiling. His hands were clenched at his sides. Catherine's eyes locked on him immediately. She knew her son's moods like the back of her hand. Something was wrong, very wrong. In that moment, the lovely picnic that one meant to heal divides became something else entirely. The smiles faded, the tension grew, and what happened next would shake the royal family in ways no one expected. The moment. Everything changed. Prince Louis has always been full of energy. People love watching him at royal events because he brings joy and laughter wherever he goes.
Prince Louis has had quite the year. The cheeky 4-year-old has a talent for stealing the show at royal engagements.
With his big smile, shining eyes, and playful spirit, he often steals the spotlight. That day at Balmoral was no different. He was running around the grassy lawns, chasing butterflies, giggling with other children, and making everyone around him smile. At first, it was the perfect day. The royal family had gathered to enjoy a peaceful picnic. The sun was shining, the air was warm, and for a while, it seemed like nothing could go wrong. Children's laughter filled the air, and Prince Louis's voice could be heard above it all as he raced across the garden, full of excitement and joy. But then, something changed. Something subtle but powerful. Suddenly, Louis's laughter stopped. His footsteps slowed, and he came to a halt in the middle of the lawn. Princess Catherine, ever the watchful mother, noticed it immediately. She had been keeping an eye on her youngest child all afternoon, smiling as he played, but now her face changed. Her smile faded, Her eyes sharpened, and she stood up, clearly sensing something was wrong. Louis was standing still, his body stiff. His cheeks were red, not from running or playing, but from emotion. His eyes were glassy, as if he was holding back tears. Catherine could tell from the way he was clenching his little fists and looking down at the ground that something had hurt him. Across from Louis stood one of Camilla's granddaughters. Her arms were crossed, and her face showed no guilt. There was tension in the air, and even though most of the adults were still busy chatting and sipping tea, Catherine's full attention was now locked on Louis. Without hesitation, Catherine walked toward him, calm but with purpose. Her instincts as a mother told her everything she needed to know. This wasn't just a silly disagreement between children. Something serious had happened. Later, whispers around the palace told the full story. Witnesses said that Camilla's granddaughter had spoken harshly to Louis. Some said she called him names, mocked him in front of the other children, and made him feel small. Others believed she may have pushed him or teased him cruelly. Whatever the exact truth was, one thing was certain: Louis felt bullied, and it was clear from his tearful eyes and trembling hands. Prince William, seeing his son upset, rushed over. He bent down to Louis's level, wrapping his arms around him and speaking in a soft, comforting voice. But Louis's usual brightness was gone. The happy, carefree boy who had been laughing just moments before was now wiping away tears, his face filled with confusion and sadness. This wasn't normal childhood teasing. This wasn't just a small argument that would pass in a few minutes. This was something deeper, something that left a mark on Louis's heart. And for William and Catherine, it was more than just upsetting. It was heartbreaking. William and Catherine have always gone out of their way to protect their children. They know how hard royal life can be. The spotlight is always shining on their family, and the pressure to be perfect is heavy. They've tried to shield George, Charlotte, and Louis from that pressure.
Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are some curious little kiddos,
letting them enjoy a normal childhood as much as possible. But this time, the hurt didn't come from the outside world. It didn't come from paparazzi, strangers, or the press. It came from inside the family. Someone they had trusted, someone who had been welcomed into their home and their private lives. For Catherine, this moment was a wake-up call. For William, it was a breaking point. The peaceful picnic had turned into something very different. A happy day had been spoiled, and their son had been hurt. And both parents knew they couldn't let it go. The moment Louis's laughter stopped was the moment everything changed for him, for his parents, and for the royal family. William's bold decision: no more royal privileges. After the picnic at Balmoral, things didn't just return to normal for William and Catherine. They couldn't stop thinking about what had happened to Prince Louis. It wasn't something they could ignore or brush aside. That moment, seeing their son upset, confused, and in tears, stayed with them. And they both knew something had to be done. Later that evening, once the guests had left and the castle was quiet, William and Catherine sat down to talk. Behind closed doors, away from the staff and family, they shared their thoughts, their concerns, and their emotions. They were both upset, not just because Louis had been hurt, but because someone from inside their family circle had caused that pain. They talked for hours, and by the end of their conversation, one thing was clear. They couldn't allow this behavior to continue. It didn't matter who it was. They had to take a stand not only for Louis, but for all their children. William knew he had to act, and he couldn't wait. The very next day, William made a bold decision. Camilla's granddaughter, the same girl who had bullied Louis, would no longer be welcomed at royal events. She wouldn't attend public gatherings with the royal family, and any special treatment she had been given was now gone. She didn't have an official royal title, but she had been treated like she belonged. Not anymore. William's decision was quick, firm, and serious. It sent a strong message not just to Camilla's family, but to everyone watching. His children's well-being came first, above all else. It didn't matter if the person causing harm was part of the extended royal circle. There would be no second chances when it came to bullying. This move shocked many people. Royal experts said they had never seen anything like it before. Normally, the royal family handles issues quietly. Problems are solved in private. They avoid public drama at all costs. But this time was different. William didn't want to keep it hidden. He wanted the world to know that there were real consequences for hurting his son. News about William's decision spread quickly. Social media lit up. Headlines around the world reported the story. Some people were surprised, but many supported William. They praised him for protecting his son and for being a strong, loving father. Parents everywhere are related to his actions. They said he did what any caring parent would do, stand up for their child. However, not everyone was happy. Some wondered if this decision would create problems between William and Camilla. Would this hurt the relationship between William and King Charles? Could this cause more tension inside the royal family? These questions filled newspapers and online debates. But even with all the talk, William didn't change his mind. He stood firm. His message was clear and simple. No one, no matter who they are, can hurt my children and expect to stay in the royal circle. This wasn't about drama. This was about family, respect, and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. William had made his choice, and by doing so, he showed the world that being royal doesn't mean you have to stay silent. Sometimes even a prince must make hard decisions for love, for justice, and his children's peace. Catherine's quiet strength and motherly worry. While Prince William took the bold step of removing Camilla's granddaughter from royal events, Princess Catherine showed her strength in a very different way, a quiet, steady kind of strength that only a loving mother can show. She didn't give speeches, and she didn't make any public statements. She stayed out of the spotlight completely.
Spotting Kate out and about won't necessarily indicate her readiness to resume royal duties.
But those who were there that day saw how deeply she cared and how closely she watched over Prince Louis. Catherine didn't need to say much. Her actions spoke louder than words. The moment she saw Louis upset, her full attention went to him. She stayed by his side, speaking softly and gently. She didn't panic, but she was alert. Every look, every small movement showed how focused she was on making sure her son felt safe and loved. As the day went on, Catherine didn't let Louis out of her sight. While other adults continued with light conversations and polite smiles, she stayed close to Louis, comforting him, holding his hand, and listening carefully. Her calm presence gave Louis the support he needed after such a hurtful experience. Later, people close to the royal family revealed something important. Catherine had always been cautious about her children spending too much time with Camilla's grandchildren. It wasn't about being rude or unfriendly. Catherine is known for being kind and respectful. But as a mother, she had a feeling, a quiet worry, that something might go wrong. And on that day at Balmoral, her worry came true. This experience confirmed her fears, but it also showed the world just how protective she is. Catherine may appear calm and gentle on the outside, but when it comes to her children, she is strong, firm, and unshakable. She won't allow anything or anyone to harm her kids, not even within the walls of the palace. Catherine's strength doesn't come from raising her voice or demanding attention. It comes from her love, her patience, and her unbreakable loyalty to her family. That day, she proved that being a mother in the royal family means much more than wearing a crown. It means being a shield for your children, always ready to protect them, no matter who they face. What this means for the royal family's future. Now that Camilla's granddaughter has been quietly removed from royal events, people are asking an important question. What happens next? This decision wasn't just about one child being banned from picnics or parties. It was about something much bigger, the future of the royal family and the choices they must now make. For many, the move raised eyebrows. Some wondered, will Camilla try to fight back? After all, this is her granddaughter, someone she cares about. Camilla has worked hard over the years to blend her own family into royal life. She brought her children and grandchildren into royal gatherings, slowly making them feel at home inside palace walls. But now, with this bold action from William, that plan might be in danger. Others are asking, how will King Charles respond? He has always wanted peace between his children and Camilla's family. And what about the public? People everywhere are watching closely. Many are wondering if this event is a sign of growing cracks in the royal family. Some fear it could lead to deeper divisions, with silent arguments turning into public distance. Others believe this moment might be a turning point, a chance for the royal family to set new rules and stronger boundaries, especially when it comes to who belongs in their tight circle. One thing is clear, this situation has shown who is truly in charge of the future. Prince William, as the future king, is stepping into his role with confidence. By taking action to protect his son, he sent a message loud and clear that his children's safety and happiness come first. Titles, traditions, and old family rules don't matter as much as their well-being. William is showing the world that being royal doesn't mean staying silent when something is wrong. It means standing up for your family, even if it causes waves. Some people are now seeing William not just as a prince in a suit, but as a father who will fight for his kids no matter what. This event may also change how the royal family handles non-royal family members in the future. There may be stricter limits on who can attend royal events, who can appear in public with the family, and who receives special treatment. In the past, the lines were sometimes blurred, but now William is drawing a clear line. Only those who are respectful and supportive belong in the royal spotlight. For many people, this is a refreshing change. They see it as a sign of strength, leadership, and love. Others are worried about what this might mean for the relationship between Camilla's family and the royals. Could this decision drive them apart permanently? Only time will tell. One thing is certain, this moment won't be forgotten. It will be remembered as the day Prince William took control of his family's future, not with harsh words, but with firm action. He proved that being a good leader starts at home, with protecting those you love the most. And as he steps closer to becoming king one day, people now know he won't be afraid to make hard decisions for the good of his family and the future of the crown. In the end, the sunny picnic at Balmoral became more than just a family gathering. It became a moment of truth, a time when Prince William stood up, not just as a royal, but as a father. When Prince Louis was hurt, William didn't wait. He acted. He chose to protect his child, even if it meant upsetting powerful people. He made a choice that said, "My children come first." Camilla's granddaughter may have lost her place at royal events. Still, more importantly, the royal family learned something big that day. Family is about love, respect, and kindness, not just titles or appearances. Prince William and Princess Catherine showed the world what true leadership looks like. It's not about power or control. It's about standing by your family, making tough choices, and creating a safe, loving home even inside a palace. As the royal family moves forward, this moment will not be forgotten. It may have started with a few hurtful words, but it ended with a message that echoed through the palace walls. The future king will not let his children be hurt. Period. And that's something people everywhere can respect. So, what's next for Camilla's family? Will peace return, or are more royal storms on the way? One thing's for sure, the world is watching, and this royal story is far from over. Stay tuned for more updates as the royal family's journey continues, full of love, surprises, and strong decisions that shape their future.